He wasn't born lucky. He was born to prove luck wrong. Every morning before sunrise, Ryan Miller, a 14-year-old boy with dusty cheeks and tired eyes, walked miles to school. His mother, Grace Miller, 30 and breathtaking in her simplicity, was already there, mopping the same floors her son would later study on. While other kids arrived in shiny cars, Ryan entered quietly, his faded uniform clinging with sweat and hope. Grace smiled each time he passed, hiding her rough hands behind her back so he wouldn't feel ashamed. The world didn't notice the boy on the last bench, but Grace did. Every broom stroke whispered a silent prayer. One day, they'll see you. The boy sat at the last bench again, his small hands covered in chalk dust and dreams. Outside, thunder rolled. Another stormy day, another reason for others to stay home. But not him. His mother had walked him to school in the rain, her clothes soaked, her smile pretending everything was fine. The teacher spoke about success and talent, but the boy knew talent wasn't what he had. He had persistence. When laughter filled the room at his torn notebook, he didn't cry. He remembered his mother's wet shoes by the door and how she said, "You don't need to shine now. Just don't stop walking." That day, something inside him quietly decided he would build something one day that no one could laugh at again. The small house was silent except for the ticking of a broken clock. The 10-year-old boy sat on the floor, surrounded by wires, bottle caps, and a flashlight torn apart. His mother watched quietly from the kitchen, tired but smiling. She had seen that spark in his eyes before. For days he had been collecting discarded things from the street, whispering, "They just need a new purpose." That night, when the light flickered back on from his tiny handmade torch, the room glowed with more than electricity. It shone with belief. His mother placed her rough hand on his hair, whispering, "Maybe luck was never lost. Maybe we just had to make our own." Outside, the storm stopped. Inside, a dream began to breathe. The next morning, the 10-year-old boy carried his little torch to school, hidden inside his torn bag. When the classroom lights failed during a storm, the teacher sighed and laughter echoed. Then a small light flickered from the last bench, a tiny glowing bean built from trash. The laughter stopped. The teacher stared, stunned. "Did you make this?" she asked. The boy nodded shyly, his dusty face glowing brighter than the torch. At the door stood his mother. Drenched from rain, eyes glistening with pride. For the first time, no one saw his torn shoes or dirty hands. They saw his light. In that moment, the boy on the last bench became the brightest name in the room. Years later, the school auditorium overflowed with light. On the stage stood a grown version of that same 10-year-old boy, his voice trembling as he looked at the front row, where his 30-year-old mother once sat, hands still rough, heart still proud. The crowd clapped for his invention that now powered homes across the town. But his eyes only searched for her. "Everything I built," he said softly, "started from the hands that once cleaned this floor." The hall fell silent. Even the lights seemed to pause in respect. His mother smiled, tears glimmering in her hazel eyes. She didn't need applause. She already had her victory. The boy who sat on the last bench had finally built the light that never went out.